As Earlbeck sends that one in. Ashton Miller takes it down, tries to one-time the volley, but it's over the end line. Didn't get nearly enough of that one, but again, the pressure continues to build for Duke.
Fantastic ball by Olivia Earlbeck there to she put it in a dangerous spot whether she was picking out Ashton Miller or not. But, I mean, Olivia Earlbeck's about 40 yards from goal, and no one is stepping to her to put any pressure on that ball. Good players can pick out long passes if you give them time and space. So, still, I mean, I'm looking for Illinois State to put a little more pressure on Duke when Duke has the ball.
Had a chance to talk to Olivia Earlbeck earlier this week. You know, she's just been so impressed by the culture of this team. She's a freshman coming from all the way across the country. Having a chance to talk to some other classmates of hers, club teammates of hers. You know, this Duke program has really accepted its freshmen in a way that not every program does. Sometimes you see those class divides where freshmen are given different duties and they've got to carry the ball bag and they've got to do all these different chores and things. And so it's just not the way it's done here at Duke. It's made her feel very quickly a part of the team and has helped her have the kind of year that she's had thus far. And you know, this point in the game, and obviously we're still early on, but she's been the person of the match, I think, so far.
Yeah, she's looked great so far. And I think, yeah, there's a lot to be said about the culture of Duke women's soccer. I think that's something that, you know, helps you sustain success. You know, Duke went to the national championship game in 2011, and then were able to continue to ride that success. And players come in and out who are different, but if you have that culture that people want to be around and that you can sell to recruits, and that's not fake, it's true. I mean, I think that leads to sustained success, and Robbie Church has been able to do that with this program.
Burns making a run as an outside back. Illinois State trying to counter. Rabin takes care of that, however. Rabin, one of the captains of this Duke team, along with Christina Gibbons. That one is played over the top. And for the first time, E.J. Proctor will be involved.
Yeah, and Duke just absolutely effortlessly able to move into Illinois State's half. Illinois State's starting their line of confrontation about 40 yards from their goal is when they're starting to step on passes and put some pressure on people. But, you know, there's a long way to go to the Duke goal.
What a pass there by Chelsea Burns. Top of the 18-yard box, Tony Payne trying to play that one. Maybe trying to play Christina Gibbons in on goal. Instead, right. Haley Smith steps to it.
I was going to say, you're right. I mean, fantastic pass right there by Chelsea Burns. She split about 3 girls there to find Tony. Tony just wasn't able to get that second touch that she wanted. But, I mean, those are the passes Duke's going to have to make if Illinois State's going to be sitting in so deep. They're going to have to play passes in between channels of, like, a couple different defenders. And it's going to be difficult, but it seems like they should have the time on the ball to pick out whatever pass they want.
Here's Unger as the Redbirds try to put something together. It's Ashton Miller stepping into that one, handing it off to Morgan Reed, who asks her teammates to clear out. But ask a really, maybe an odd question, and it quite frankly could be a dumb question, but I'm going to go for it anyway. And that is, when you have all of this pressure on you, would you think about maybe pressing forward more? In other words, because you're sitting so far back, Duke is really advancing with relative ease as Tony Payne is played into the 18-yard box. Duke is basically advancing without opposition to about 35, 40 yards from goal. And even when you clear it, they're just right back down your throat again. Would you be more advised maybe to push up a little bit so you can possess at midfield? Because even when they get it out there, Kale's basically 1-on-4, 1-on-5. And the Redbirds haven't been able to hold on to the ball very often.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you have any aspirations besides playing for penalties, then yeah, you have to move more people up the field. Kale right here trying to do some hold-up play, let her teammates move up the field. But yeah, I mean, unless tactics change for Illinois State right now, I mean, the way they're playing early on in this game seems to say, you know, we'll take our chance in penalties if it comes to that and try not to concede. But, you know, like I said earlier, that can change. Sometimes coaches can say first 20 minutes, play this way, and then mix it up. But
looping pass from Tony Payne. What a piece of quality from the senior there as Dorsey earns the corner kick. You know, the other thing with Kale is she's up near midfield, but then there's another 15 or 20 yards to that next line of teammates. So she's really out there on an island as Duke gets ready for another set piece, the fourth corner already for the Blue Devils, as this one is played relatively short. It's Skylar DeBray improves the angle and sends that one into the mixer. And then just poorly marked by Illinois State as Haley Smith was staring at two Duke Blue Devils right in front of her and no black jerseys.
You're absolutely right. It was poor marking on Illinois State. I think that's what happens when you play a short corner kick and don't put it in right away. Defenders can tend to lose their marks and just start going out. And, you know, a couple girls still stayed in their spots, so everyone was onside and no one was marked. Duke early on, corner kicks very effective. 3 great chances on 3 corner kicks.
Looked like it was Chelsea Burns that nearly got the head on it. Earlbeck in front of the Illinois State bench. And I think right now the Redbirds just need to connect a couple of passes just to relieve some pressure, even if they don't go anywhere. You know what I mean? It's not even necessarily creating a chance at this point. It's just preventing the Blue Devils from having possession. But here comes Duke one more time. That one is volleyed away, or nearly so, top of the 18-yard box. And now it's, again, it's Kale working against 3 or 4 Blue Devils defenders.
Yeah, Kale's in a very precarious spot up there. I mean, I'm not sure. She's basically just going to try to use her body, fight off the defender, maybe draw a foul, or maybe get 4 or 5 touches so she can connect with someone. But they are deep in their own half.
And Duke playing very high tempo. Earlbeck chips that one toward Tony Payne. Duke electing to go with the quick restart. Gibbons trying to turn the corner. A nice job there by Kyler Zerwinski. Zerwinski, the sophomore, started all year. A dangerous player and a great worker on defense, and she will have to work with Christina Gibbons hanging around her all game. Burns sends that one across. Dorsey flicking that header towards Smith. 8 shots thus far for Duke, make it 9. And Illinois State, I don't even know if Illinois State's been in the final third thus far.
Oh, I don't think so.
Perhaps this is the opportunity for the Redbirds. Bit too aggressive, perhaps. But again, there, I think that might have been better served, trying to go shorter with that ball as Dorsey weaves through a couple of defenders, tries to find Payne. Stepped into nicely by Del Fava. Miller's first to it, though, and it's Tony Payne once again. Illinois State has to feel like there's 15 Duke players out on the field right now. A 1-2, Payne trying to loft that one. Got too much under it, and it's over the frame as the crowd shows its appreciation here in Durham. There's a good shot of Tony Payne. 5th on Duke's NCAA tournament points list in terms of career points with 12. Has 21 goals and 21 assists in her career. Only the 6th player at Duke in that 2020 club. A first-team All-ACC competitor this season. It's a whistle on Illinois State. I will say this. If you're Duke, the more that you're dominating play without scoring, the more frustrated you get, maybe the more impatient you get. If Illinois State can just hang on through this 20 minutes, if it's 30 minutes, if it's the whole first half, whatever, they can just manage to hang on without conceding. Be interesting to see how Duke responds. That one is punched away by Smith. Interesting she didn't elect to try to grab that one, maybe thought too much velocity and didn't want to cough up a rebound.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I played in a bunch of these games at Georgetown where we were just absolutely running possession, and it definitely builds up on you when you don't score. And as the clock keeps going, first half starting to wind down, you still haven't scored. You definitely start to get anxiety about, like, come on, like, where's this goal coming from? Like, why can't we score? And it's not easy when, all 11 people are behind the center circle, and really, like, 10 right now are all around the 18. It's not easy to score, and it can get frustrating. But, I think Duke at least feels confident in the fact that, they can take some chances to get their wing backs up, get a couple more people in the attack, because, Illinois State doesn't seem to want to threaten them on the attacking end, at least in this first half.
Redbirds possessing. Tony Payne forces Del Fava to retreat. Jarsenbeck and Del Fava combining. Morgan Reed and Olivia Earlbeck collide. Reed plays that one square to Miller. Good work by Ashton Miller. Ella Stevens thought about Tony Payne, but it's stepped into nicely by Del Fava. That one's out of the reach, though, of Unger. Michaela Unger, the MVC Freshman of the Year.
You bring up the frustration of not being able to, or at least not scoring for a while, and how that weighs on you. Definitely makes me think about how the Notre Dame women's team was probably thinking. So, I mean, I think you see from the example of, you know, Southern Illinois, not Evansville.
Edwardsville?
Help me out here.
Yeah,
Edwardsville.
Yeah, SIUE earlier today.
They advanced on the PKs at Notre Dame, and, you know, certainly I can only imagine how frustrated Notre Dame was getting in that game. So, you know, that Duke's aware that that's a possibility in this game, so that's why it definitely builds on you and starts to weigh, like, no way we let this go to PKs, no way, like, we got to find a goal. So it's a stressful environment out there for sure.
No question about it. And obviously, look, we're talking about, look, 23 minutes to go in the first half, 45 minutes in the second. Illinois State could very well create a ton of opportunities, but, you know, at this point, Duke has been so dominant as Ashton Miller gets ready to put this set pace into the 18-yard box. Off of her line, handling it nicely was Haley Smith. But if you are the Blue Devils, all we're basically saying is it can build up. And,
yes.
And thus far, I'm sure it has not. But it certainly will start to the farther along that this goes. Now, I'll also say, if you were to ask the two coaches, I think they'd both rather be where Duke is in this game than where Illinois State is. You know, we talk about the frustration that Duke might be experiencing right now. I'm sure Coach Goles would love to be experiencing similar frustration, and that is frustration out of having tons of chances but no goals, because his team really hasn't possessed the ball much, even on the attacking side of midfield.
Absolutely.
So Ashton Miller has done well defensively, as Stevens thought Payne was going to make that run inside. You see those two, freshman and senior, talking to each other out there on the field.
Sorting it out. I think Ella there wanted Tony to cut her run in behind the defense, like straight toward the goal, and Tony was drifting out a bit wide.
21.5 to go in the first half. No substitutions for either team thus far, but it's about the time when coaches start to think about it. Just about 25 minutes in. Duke has had a really good thing going, though, so you wonder if they will make very many changes. Looks like Ncaa might be getting ready to come on for Duke. And Ncaa has been really, really good for the Blue Devils in the late going. Had a goal against Charlotte, her first collegiate goal. Spends a lot of her time on defense and in the midfield.
Great time to score your first goal
No
in
doubt.
the NCAA tournament. I know a little bit about that.
I do not. I don't know about scoring any goals at the college level, or even playing at the college level.
Well, it's a good feeling, but also means you didn't score at all before that. So it's not necessarily the goal, but it's a nice feeling.
Burns puts that one into the 18-yard box. It had trickled through an Illinois State defender, and Smith has to get her hands on that one. So into double digits go the Blue Devils in terms of shots taken. 5 of them have been on goal. We'll see if this is the time the Redbirds can put something together. Connecting a couple of passes in the middle of the field. Skylar DeBray, though, steps in front of Lauren Kale. And now it's Dorsey.
Yeah, you know, I think if you're Illinois State and you're going to play this way with basically one striker up top of Kale with not a lot of help, you would rather that striker be someone with pace who could potentially run in behind the defense, rather than Kale's, you know, a big striker who wants to hold up the ball, but she doesn't really have the support to do that right now, the way they're playing. So
here is Payne into the 18-yard box, trying to hit Dorsey, the trailing player. Stevens is first to it. Under 20 minutes to go. Morgan Reed, who placed a good ball in before, tries to do the same here. Looking for Gibbons. It skips over to Burns. Gets it onto her right foot. I thought Chelsea Burns could have had a strike on goal from that position. He elects to try to make the pass, and now Illinois State clears.
Yeah, that's those defender instincts in the final third. You're not really used to being the one to take the shots. You don't practice shooting as much, so I think she was a little unsure whether she should take that one there, which is, I sympathize with that as a defender.
Chelsea Burns comes off. Ncaa replaces her at the left outside back. Reed with the throw-in. Stevens keeps it alive. Ella Stevens. Reed steps into it. Morgan Reed one-times that service across, taken down with the chest and near the top of the 18-yard box. We've seen Unger on the ball a little bit for Illinois State. She's seen more of it than most of her teammates. Skipped across by Stevens. Payne on the other end of it. Plays it back to Miller. 18.5 to go. Miller has the ability to strike from that distance. Not necessarily the most consistent outside shooter, but plenty of power. Couldn't get all of that one. Couldn't get the knee over the ball. And it'll be a goal kick for Illinois State with just over 18 minutes to go in the first half.
Yep, and Duke's going to need to keep their shots below the crossbar. That's a number of them now that have sailed high. I think that's kind of the nerds of the NCAA tournament. You know, maybe pulling the trigger a half second faster than you should, and the ball pikes up high. But great pressure from Duke here, and another steal.
Stevens gets it to Earlbeck. Ncaa with her first touch on the ball. Gibbons looking to change the point of attack as she finds DeBray. Morgan Reed and Dorsey trying to combine. Instead, it'll be a throw-in for the Blue Devils. 17.5 to go. 11 shots for Duke. None for Illinois State. Stevens always dangerous on that first touch. Now trying to make